Some people were destined to lead ordinary lives. Once upon a time, I thought that would have been my fate had I not met Aurora Valentini all'asilo. In kindergarten. A nice, boring life I'd imagined for myself. College, a wife, the girlfriend I met at school, a house, maybe a dog. Eventually we'd have kids, go on vacation once a year and bitch about not being able to travel more, visit family and savor Sunday lunches with them. Until I was 23, I'd thought Aurora was the reason that seemed so trite. I just didn't realize that from birth I was meant for more. Not that more was always good. Case in point. With my grandfather having recently been sent to prison, as his heir, that meant I'd inherited his business as well as his men. One of whom was Bruno, my new capo. "Boss, I told you back in Vegas, there ain't nowhere you can go that I don't. Capisci?" Eyes narrowed, I stared at him as I finished off the glass of milk I'd poured myself earlier. "How long have you been standing on my doorstep?" He grinned at me, revealing 2 front incisors that had been replaced with gold decades ago. "Since I got here." "Which was when?" 20 minutes after you arrived." "Christ, what's the hurry anyway?" "I'm attending the wedding reception downstairs." Bruno whistled. "Better be glad you're bridging the gap with the Cosa Nostra. He wanted to do it, but the Valentinis know how to hold a grudge." Didn't I know it? Hell, their ability to hold a grudge without business getting in the way of things was something I'd been dealing with for years without even realizing there was beef between our bloodlines. On edge, I wiggled the signet ring my grandfather, Alberto Bert de Laurentiis, had given me for my birthday last December. It wasn't much of a gift, considering, with it, he'd practically announced his retirement, too. As if it were on cue, Bruno flashed a glance down at the ring and up to my face again. This ring changed everything. Took me from the sidelines to front and center stage. Looking back, I had to wonder if he'd known this was going to go down and just hadn't warned me. I put nothing past Bert.
Before I tucked the device into my purse, I stared down at the screen of my phone, trying and failing not to be heard about losing D, short for DDO Sunlight, to a shadowy woman whom he loved since time began. Desperation had me seeking Dee's presence in the wake of Hunter's arrival, an arrival that was my brother's fault. It was instinct to study Hunter as he pocketed his own cell, to watch as he strolled out of the doorway and into the ballroom, then to immediately turn away from him. I always looked away, always. And that was before I had the memory of him covered in my husband's blood to contend with. Sometimes I thought back to that day when everything had changed, the irony being, of course, that if I asked Hunter which day that was, he'd give me a different one. He'd tell me it was the day he'd killed my husband. It wasn't. That was why I'd picked up my damn phone. Urges. So many of them. Every one of them wrong, depraved. But that was me. Depraved, depraved, depraved. I shuddered at the thought of all the ways I was just plain wrong, as Stan mumbled around a piece of strawberry shortcake that he stole off my plate. "What went down between you two?" I ignored my brother Costanzo's question. Didn't even tense up at it, because it was loaded with genuine curiosity and concern, and not the usual shadowed criticism. My family liked Hunter, and I couldn't blame them. He was eminently likable. It was impossible, in fact, to dislike him. But I didn't dislike Hunter. I never had, never would. My radio silence had nothing to do with dislike, and everything to do with shame. From the corner of my eye, I studied him, taking his tall leanness that had been stacked with muscles in the years since I'd last seen him in the flesh.